Alright everybody, so I just want to give a long form content a demonstration about why I like Monster Clay so much. Now, we know not only is it an amazing consistency to work on, and you can also warm it up to the liking that you have for your clay sculpting, but it's just so easy to work with in situations like this. Now, this is the Peregrine Falcon, and what I had did, I sculpted the head way too narrow, and I needed to expand that out a little bit. So all I did was simply just scalped the middle of the spine and the top of the head, and then I just peeled the clay away from the aluminum foil base that we had built up during the armature creations video. So what I did is I just peeled the side of the head away, and I'm just filling it in with Monster Clay. And because the Monster Clay starts off really warm and malleable, it makes it super easy for us to go ahead and put this in between the already set up detailed clay with the eye already in place and the aluminum foil. It makes things super simplistic and super easy to work with, and I just kind of wanted to demonstrate that here. Now, as you can see, we're going to continue pushing this into the little void here and filling that in, so it has a lot of strength and support as we work through other layers of detail work later on in the process. Now, let me know in the comments below, have you ever used Monster Clay? What did you particularly like about it? Is there a particular type of sculpting textures that you just feel like you're not very good at or would like to learn how to make? If it is something that you're interested in, perhaps I can cover that content in the near future on the Monster Clay sculpting playlist here on my YouTube channel. You can also find all sorts of different sculpting techniques there on my sculpting playlist, which is a very large playlist of all sorts of sculpted mediums. Everything from Sculpey to Monster Clay to DOS Air Dry to Paper Clay, all sorts of fun stuff. So as you can see, we're going to continuously push this warm clay into position here, and then as we fill that in there, it gets stronger and stronger. And what we're going to do is eventually we'll get to the point where we're going to fully cover up the whole back side of the aluminum foil again, and then we'll have a nice side of the head that's been expanded outward a little bit. Makes it look very much more realistic from the front view of the item there. Now, as you can see here, we're going to get a little bit more aggressive with the amount of clay that we're applying here. Now, this is a large piece here. It's very malleable, very warm. And we're going to go ahead and finish pushing this into position here. And as I kind of come around the side of the face and the eye cavity there, we'll finish up rounding that around to the back of the head there. It does take a little bit of clay to fill this in here, and this actual sculpture is taking a lot more clay than I had originally anticipated. I originally thought that I could get by with just one container of Monster Clay for the entire Falcon, and that is just not cutting it. It is not enough clay, so I'm about to burn through what I have of the remainder of this clay, and I'll be burning into a second container fully there. A good thing I am using a crock pot, makes it easier. I warm that up and just reuse the clay as I kind of scrape off new layers here. Because here soon we are going to be sculpting into the actual feather texture down the back, which is really going to transform the way the overall sculpture looks. It's going to really show how grandeur the overall item is going to be when it's all said and done. The wingspan on the Falcon is going to be absolutely insane, and it's going to be really cool looking. I'm going to take a lot of detail work as far as the actual mold making process, so that we can capture as much of those details as possible. You might also think to yourself, man, he's an amazing sculptor. Why is he affiliated with Monster Clay in any way? No, not really. I'm not affiliated with Monster Clay in any way, but I do enjoy using their clay, especially when it's for like large scale projects like this, where I'm going to be making the molds and the casts of the item to reproduce it in the future for other customers. It also allows me to reproduce these sculptures in essence in different like mediums. I can make a latex mold and make it out of concrete, or make a silicone mold of the wings, or use those in other particular items and things like that. Or even use the armature wire system and reuse it and make other styles of birds. So a lot of times I like being able to use multiple pieces of the same overall finished item and then actually use them in different ways, whether that be the actual mold making or the supplies of making the sculpture, or anything in between. So it's just really cool to apply those same things to the clay that we're working with in itself, where it's reusable, which is pretty cool. Whereas if you're using a Sculpey Original or a DOS Air Dry clay, once it's dry or it's baked, it's done. There's no going back and working over it again. if something gets smushed or cracked or anything like that, okay, yes, you can go back and you can fix cracks in the majority of those sculpted items. However, what I mean is that you can't just go back and make it malleable again, and then redo the entire face or the hand or the arm, or in this situation, the feather texture. So with Monsterclay, you're easily able to remedy issues just by simply just scraping it off and then resculpting it. But I am in love with Monsterclay in a lot of ways, guys. It's one of the best clays that you can work with. So if you've never worked with it, I highly recommend it. Again, I'm not affiliated in any way with Monsterclay, Monster Maker Inc. But I do recommend their clay for people, whether you're just starting out and you want to just practice sculpting, destroy it, practice again and again and again, or if you're looking to make something and make a mold out of it, it's really what you need to break yourself into sculpting and just enjoying the process. If you make a mistake, make it again. That's all there is to it. You melt it down and you make it again. But I do think it's fun to kind of clip some real time videos of me sculpting and then just repurpose them here on my YouTube channel. In this situation, I'm just kind of explaining why I like Monsterclay so much, but also kind of showing you the overall sculpted texture of the bird itself. Make sure you check out the entire playlist for the Peregrine Falcon. You'll be able to see all of the details of the sculpted texture that we've made so far. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. I'll catch you on my next video.